Yeah. Quick is going to verify in chat that they were 0 days in at the start of the Swiss bracket, and they've already made it to D2 of Galactic Champions League.
Yeah, it's an incredible climb for some of the players as we now immediately get back into this game, but now we'll get to see how back-to-back matches might take a toll on you as Bingo is right here yet again for more matches, and with just playing 11 matches, it'll be interesting to see how he takes this as he starts off with just a couple T-spins, whereas QuickAndSmart with the 6-3.
Bingo actually found an all clear there, but Quick just sent so much damage that most of it just ended up being immediately cancelled. And about that thing, some players will end up being fatigued by playing so many matches, while other players will just see it as a really good warm-up. So we're definitely going to see how Bingo is going to handle this one. Quick is just going to keep their efficiency, keep their height dependencies pretty even. Zoning from the bottom, very ballsy play when Bingo isn't at max zone, so that's going to allow Bingo to apply a lot of pre-pressure.
Yeah, and with that 6 combo ending in the Tetris that Bingo had, that gave a lot of attack immediately to QuickAndSmart, whereas now Bingo has all of this zone to just take whatever QuickAndSmart has sent here and almost gets that 20, but just not quite there.
I just want to really highlight the fact that Quick sent 62 and 18. That is a ridiculous feat in efficiency, and we're going to see a decent amount of garbage on both players' boards. Pretty even, but Quick does have the zone advantage as they did just end quicker.
Yeah, zone advantage can play a huge role, especially as we get later into the game, as we're already almost to phase 3, where as you have the zone advantage, that gives you the liberty to choose when you want to zone and potentially put your opponent on immense time pressure.
That is correct, but unfortunately with that zone advantage, Quick did end up misdropping a lot, and because they gave Bingo so much time, they're just going to be receiving so much damage. Bingo at the bottom of their board, not too much material, but if they're efficient enough, they are going to be able to find this kill shot, sending a TSD, trying to make sure that whatever Quick has to mitigate, they're still going to be receiving those 2 lines of bleed through, and they just can't find anything. The Q did not like them, and Bingo's taking that first round.
Yeah, some incredible survival attempts there at the top of the board. Being right next to the piece spawn is a really hard thing to get good at it. Seeing how these players can maneuver the pieces at the top of their board can really help in understanding what you have to do to stay alive sometimes.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see opposite columns of garbage for both of these players, and we're not going to see any well transitions yet. And yeah, Quick has a lot of clean on their board, but Bingo's entirely man-made, which is going to allow them to be more efficient in their stack. But all that sustain on both players, it looks like both players have a really nice start to zone. Going to be interesting to see how this interaction unfolds.
And with Bingo right at the top of the board here, looking for that ulti, would be really hard to get it. Cannot quite find it. But QuickAndSmart also with just the Perfectress, but enough extra attack that puts Bingo into just a little bit of a tight spot for a moment.
Yeah, definitely. That was a 9-line difference, and there wasn't too much pressure outside of zone that influenced that. But with Bingo being able to tank that much, if they're able to access it, their pace actually isn't slowed down that much, even with Quick's continued efficient play.
Yeah, and Bingo's T-spin triple right at the top of the board really helped him out there and gave him everything he needed to counter against QuickAndSmart. But once again, QuickAndSmart with their own T-spin triple, putting on pressure to just keep everything going, and now Bingo's into their next zone here, a phase 2 zone, but getting real efficient with it as QuickAndSmart starts his zone.
Yeah, Bingo's gonna end up sending 53 and 17 for the zone transition, so depending on how much Quick is able to clear, they are running low on time, but they're also very high on the board. Gonna send 47 and 19, so Bingo's gonna win on efficiency and just send so many lines to Quick, who is actually finding very nice down stacks, making sure to keep their future wells open.
Yeah, down stacking through, especially phase 3 garbage, can be really tough, as QuickAndSmart just could not quite get there. But being able to adapt to wherever the well might be is a very important aspect that both of these players do have a lot of experience in.
Yeah, it is very tough in phase 3. You gotta deal with all of that cheese while your opponent is still just gonna keep that pedal on the metal. And yeah, Quick's just gonna end up topping out there, but we're gonna see 6 threes from both players. Bingo's gonna immediately find their well, and I think Quick had column 7 garbage there, which is really nice for them already in 6-3, but the well is gonna transition pretty quickly there.
Yeah, that well did start out favoring the 6-3 stack, but with it moving over to just the 1-8, it'll be interesting to see how these two players work with their wells, as QuickAndSmart with a bit of a misdrop means that they're going to lose on a bit of efficiency, as Bingo now has some big zone advantage by getting all the way through the top here and gets the Ultimatris to send 56 at QuickAndSmart.
A 56 ulti is pretty strong, but because Bingo ended earlier, they're going to have even more compounding pressure. Quick is definitely going to need to find a more efficient zone, and that O-piece is actually just not going to let them clear any more lines. 55 and 18 is pretty efficient, but that's just going to... The garbage is right into Bingo's stack. Going to fully favor the method they were using there.
And seeing the players just run through this like it's nothing is really a testament to how much these players have for experience in all of their Tetris gameplay. And now QuickAndSmart with some more very nice clean 6-3 stacking, not a single line of garbage in the cleared zone lines so far, so it'll be a whole lot of clean plays here, but that eyepiece is giving them a little bit of trouble at the top of the zone.
Yeah, they're gonna find 57 and 18. Quick is definitely playing a little risky with these zones from the bottom, just giving their opponent so much time. But if they're gonna keep playing this efficient, then it just might not matter. Gonna send a single line over to Bingo and still has some sustain on their side.
Yeah, these players are very evenly matched at the moment, and it's hard to say who will win, but Bingo does have all of that dirty cheese there. There's QuickAndSmart has a STSD setup here that they do get access to, and so that can send a lot of messy garbage to Bingo now. And Bingo down stacking nicely, but it will be a battle for sure.
Quick is just trying to keep that efficiency. Bingo is going to be on the back foot trying to find the down stack by any means. Gonna find a pretty nice combo, set up the TSS to start up their back-to-back. But Quick is going to start up their max zone right now, and that L-piece misdrop is going to absolutely halt any efficiency that they had going into this zone, and they're going to be forced to skim out of here. Gonna find a nice combo to offset that pressure that Bingo is likely going to send. Wait, no, Bingo ends up receiving here. Despite the misdrops on Quick's board, that's just a testament to how efficient these players are. Bingo's gonna go for the double T-spin, ends up realizing that they can't, and bails out, but it's just not soon enough. And Quick is now on the board.
It's great to see that despite the fact that QuickAndSmart may be brand new to the event and everything that is involved, only having been here for around 6 weeks or so, but keeping up all of the attacks and sending like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, it is very impressive that they're able to hold their own against veteran guideline players such as Bingo. But oh my, as I'm saying this, Bingo's being pushed pretty high up in the board, but they have a quarter zone to work with. So if they're able to at least open their well before their zone ends, they're at least going to survive, especially because it's phase 1, so it's going to be pretty tough to actually find those kill shots. Quick's going to be doing some misdropping as well, going to find the STSD conversion to offset the missed efficiency. Very risky zone start here. They weren't actually required to do that, but that is going to be their entire max zone. And Bingo went for the tank! No, you can't do that! And Quick is gonna take another point, tying this up.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta be really good at just knowing how much are you about to tank, because those garbage lines are not friendly whatsoever. And if they can send you halfway up the board, they will.
Yeah, you gotta find that intuition. We've seen in previous matches that their intuition is pretty good, but it's not perfect, as we saw in that previous round right there. But we're gonna see Bingo trying to continue the 6-3 on top of their garbage. Maybe gonna end up transitioning eventually, and this Imperial Cross is gonna help a lot with that damage buffer. Quick, once again, zoning pretty low on the board. They do love to try and get these efficient zones as much as possible, and Bingo's just gonna make it through their misdrops.
Yeah, and with QuickAndSmart working through all of the garbage that was sent, he's right up at the top of the board again. Gets 49 in the 19, which is a lot of garbage to be sent over, but Bingo has a great zone of his own. 47 in 19.
Quick, actually an insane STSD forecast there with a double Z placement. It's not often that you're going to see a setup like that. Truly just showing how insane their Q vision is, but Bingo's pretty low on the board. They are unfazed by the amount of damage that Quick was sending, and that down sack combo is gonna put Quick in an unfortunate spot, but they recognize that they don't need to use zone there. A lot of players would usually panic in that situation. They access all of their wells as necessary. Bingo still setting up some nice donations, not letting their efficiency drop.
Yeah, and with it being phase 2 garbage, that was relatively clean overall, and so QuickAndSmart taking full advantage of that now in his zone here and getting a large send as Bingo's right at the bottom and deciding to zone at the bottom. But at this point, there's not really much you could do because that zone, at the end of QuickAndSmart's zone, that was phase 3, and now it comes down to what can Bingo do before the zone ends.
Yeah, zoning from the bottom could have been something there if they had gotten the trigger before the phase 3, but they just didn't have as much time to think, and they're going to be receiving the brunt of this phase 3 cheese while Quick is going to maintain their efficiency. But we know that Bingo is no stranger to dealing with these phase 3 down stacks, truly being a very experienced guideline player.
Yeah, and with Bingo now having this almost half a stack of cheese here, working through it marvelously, but QuickAndSmart is not letting up on the pressure and is just continuously on this 6-3 stack, or 3-6, that it's putting immense pressure on Bingo here as QuickAndSmart has yet another full zone that can be sending a whole lot.
Yeah, these zones from the bottom from Quick, even in phase 3, just trusting in their efficiency over anything else, they're not going to be able to get too many bonus lines, but it is still 35 in 10, and Bingo is going to try and get more and more lines, but is it going to offset the pressure? It is going to be offset the pressure enough to not die, but it's still incoming, so it is a little bit scary if you're Bingo right now, trying to spend some more time to find more setups to offset more pressure.
Yeah, these players have been going back and forth with these zones. Like, they are nearly identical as they come out of the zones. But QuickAndSmart is just barely has a little bit of extra momentum here at the end of each zone that seems that he's taking advantage of it real well, and with a couple of T-spins here, that'll keep Bingo under pressure.
Yeah, we've got the classic dynamic right now of somebody having more accessible pressure, but the other player just being that much lower in the board, so they're going to have more flexibility. And Bingo right now is on the high end, gonna look for a nice zone trigger in order to counter QuickAndSmart's extremely efficient Deca Hexatris, gonna be sending 49 over.
Yeah, but QuickAndSmart doing a great job of running through all of the garbage that was on the board. And gets through it all, but has just a couple lines ending that zone. And if I recall correctly, that was Identical's actual attack out of the zone, but QuickAndSmart having zoned earlier meant that a little bit of attack was sent after.
I believe so, but Bingo's been doing a very nice job of staying comfortable and staying calm at the top of their board. They've been in this situation too many times, even in the single round, as we approach the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, good landmark, or two good landmarks of how close these players are is score and time. As time goes up, it tells you that these are really close players that are incredibly competitive with each other, which is beautiful to see. And as score goes up, you can also see that these are really good players in general, as they are sending attack after attack after attack, and neither of them are bending under this immense pressure.
Very well said. Quick has just been entirely man-made this whole time, but Bingo being able to keep up, gonna find a lot of efficiency in their down stack no matter what, and Bingo's actually gonna make it to the bottom of their board for just about the first time in this entire phase 3, so this might be the window that they were looking for to maybe punish QuickAndSmart for their lower play.
Yeah, it's incredible that Bingo had gotten through all of that. I think QuickAndSmart was just a little bit slow coming out of his last zone. That now Bingo has the very clear board advantage, and it'll be tough to see if QuickAndSmart can come out of this, but Bingo is, again, not letting up on the pressure, and it'll come down to how QuickAndSmart can do out of this, with now popping a max zone right at the top of their board.
Yeah, QuickAndSmart was pretty comfortable advantage. They had a lot of sustained pressure, but with that, that means they didn't really have the spiky nature that's usually required for a kill shot, and Bingo took advantage and has an insane zone advantage as well. They're going to try and exercise that and maybe find the kill on Quicks with only a quarter in the bank.
And QuickAndSmart unable to get any kind of attack from and prevent that large spike from Bingo's zone that tops him out and gives Bingo the round, but it's still very close between these players.
Very much so. We could even see that in the stat line, very similar. I think it was within 3 DPM and 1 APM. And we're going to see the 6-3 from both players as well. Both of them looking at the exact same thing. Quick trying to find their well, which actually ended up swapping, so very unfortunate for them in terms of their efficiency. But Bingo is going to be trapped in an 8-1 for the time being.
Yeah, 8-1 is one of those stacks that's hard to do very efficiently, is you have to waste a lot of eyepieces to get any kind of efficient plays, as the garbage seems to be transitioning to 1-8, but the players have entered zones, and so there's a high chance that we'll be into phase 2 when we finish.
Most definitely going to be transitioning, but both players started very low on the board, so we're going to be seeing a pure efficiency battle. Quick is going to make it to the top of their board, gonna find the ulti, sending over 62. That's an insane amount of lines, but Bingo cancels for 47, and they're not going to be pushed up high enough to where they're concerned. The pace is going to be bolstered by the amount of damage they just received.
And despite all of what just went down, Bingo just had some fantastic clears there, with the garbage that they received coming out of that being pretty clean overall. Now Bingo has zone advantage, but now both of them have the max zone, and it'll come down to QuickAndSmart deciding once again to zone at the bottom of the board. Very interesting to see him repeatedly doing it, but getting away with it as well.
Yeah, when you're this efficient, I feel like you can get away with zoning from just about anywhere. It's just going to be a matter of, are you fast enough to get the higher zone clears and get the bonus lines to supplement your efficient play, and Bingo's going to be trying the exact same thing. QuickAndSmart makes the transition, so this is going to be the majority of the cheese in phase 3 is going to be decided by this interaction, and by the majority I mean only a single line on Bingo's side.
Again, these players are incredibly close in their zones. Despite what differences they may have on when and how they zone, they are really good at staying right on top of each other there, and neither player has a distinctive lead at this point.
Yeah, this is one of those matchups that really just exemplifies how different skills can translate to pretty similar results, and Bingo's going to be really high on the board, looking for a higher zone clear, trying to look for some more efficiency in their down stack in order to cancel everything that Quick is sending. Once again, we're going to see that Quick is trying to do full sustain here and keep Bingo on the ropes, but without any spiking nature, it's going to be pretty hard to find a kill shot, but that 10 combo might just do it if Bingo can't find anything insane in this quarter.
Yeah, and despite it being phase 3 where combos don't add too much extra benefit as all of the garbage is messy anyway, it still can send a lot very quickly, and QuickAndSmart took full advantage of that, followed by a very large zone that we can see that Bingo's Q is just build right now, and it'll be hard to come out of this.
It will be hard to come out of this looking for that meter, and they do actually get it. I feel like they had no overcharge. Was that 10 lines that they just cleared for that quarter? So it's going to be pretty tough to get out of here. QuickAndSmart keeping that efficiency in the 2-7 stack, but Bingo is not letting go. But there it is, they're gonna be forced to top out. Quick's pressure was just too great, even in the sustain, still strong enough to find that kill shot, and we're back at a tie game.
Very great stuff to see overall as we enter game 7 of up to 15. Incredible. 15? Yeah, no.
Huh?
I don't know how to count.
7.
Either way, their players are real great and real fighting against each other, but QuickAndSmart with a couple misdrops means that Bingo can get some good attack in here as we begin this game.
Yeah, but it is pretty unfortunate the amount of shenanigans that's going on in their board state right now. Bingo is keeping that efficiency, keeping the pacing in the 6-3 stack as well, knowing when to transition the well and when not to. Quick is still going to find all their material, getting a 41 ulti, which although is uncharacteristically inefficient, it's good enough to survive, and that post pressure might be enough to offset the amount of damage that Bingo is about to send.
Yeah, and we saw for a moment there that Bingo could see the top of his garbage queue, and then QuickAndSmart continued sending. But with Bingo's zone there being as powerful as it did, it sent a lot of damage to QuickAndSmart. But again, we're in phase 2, and because it was all at once, that just meant that that's a whole lot of clean garbage that now QuickAndSmart has available as he's entering his next zone, whereas Bingo has a few messier lines to deal with and not nearly as much room to work with it.
Yeah, but because of that zone timings, it looks like we might actually see a zoneless phase 3 transition if Bingo's allowed to survive this with the quarter, and if they're able to access all their material. They see the zone chunks, so it looks possible, but that post pressure from QuickAndSmart is just getting greater and greater. They have another quarter to survive, but it is looking kind of dire. Being forced to take a Hail Mary tank, they have the pieces available to them in order to do so. Once again, gotta be a matter of if they can access the future columns. And yeah, they keep getting overcharge after overcharge, playing this extremely well. And Quick is gonna be able to take it over to phase 3 just about now.
But yeah, the key thing for these players is, like, during normal gameplay, anytime you clear a line, you are pausing the garbage from actually getting sent to you. You have that extra moment to think it over, to figure out what you want to do when you're clearing lines. But if you have to place a piece anyway, your zone is about the only way to do that. But these players are doing a fantastic job of managing that and being able to continue it up, even though there are so many situations in which they're just a whole lot of garbage that seems impossible to get out of.
So many situations. It's so nice to have the intuition to know what you're allowed to cycle and when. But speaking of which, Bingo plays a little bit too fast for their own good, ends up misdropping their J piece and wasn't ready to hold IRS on the I piece, which is gonna give Quick the lead at 4-3.
But any lead is not good enough as we begin this next match. It could go either way as both players start with 6-3, and QuickAndSmart has a slight bit of a misplacement there to begin, but QuickAndSmart has a beautiful, or at least for a little bit had a 6-3 well being created from the garbage, whereas Bingo has been moving around in accordance with this rather wobbly garbage well.
Either way is definitely a good way to put it. We've been tied for most of this set, and it is actually the halfway point as Quick only needs 3 and Bingo only needs 4. So it really could go either way here. Bingo has more accessible garbage to deal with, but we're going to see Quick actually start the zone at a decently high height compared to the rest of their zones that they've been going for. Gonna be slamming the placements in the middle to try and finish their zone a little bit quicker, but Bingo has a very efficient start, and they're gonna have all of those T-spins and Tetrises keeping back-to-back the entire way through, all the way up until the 17th line.
Yeah, it looked like QuickAndSmart was trying to get the pieces right to get a few more and couldn't get there, but then Bingo also had trouble with that eye piece. It did not want to spin over to the side, and so neither player got all of the zone that they hoped for out of it. But they still got a lot, and it's still very close between the players.
Yeah, that eye finesse is always going to be tough. We've seen even at the higher level of play of D1, the eye finesse was still catching players off guard, but we're actually in a very similar situation. Similar score, similar zone charge, and similar active material. But we might see Quick do another bottom of the zone, bottom of the board zone, absolutely in character for Quick at this moment. Bingo trying to find an opportunity to get some pre-pressure before they start a zone of their own, which might be able to push them over the edge in terms of sending power into phase 3.
Yeah, and with the way zone works is that any clear you make during the zone counts towards the garbage that you're sending, but then on top of that, the amount of lines that you clear during zone will give a benefit which gets massively boosted at 20 and 21 lines. That these players are looking for those zones so that way they can send a massive spike out of nowhere. But again, they're very good at counteracting each other at this point. That the zone is not being a very advantage point. It's not much of an advantage point for either player at this point.
Definitely, we're gonna see that despite both players having amazing tools, they have access to the same exact tools, so it's gonna be a matter of who decides to use them better or who's able to use them better. Quick is actually gonna zone the second they get it, so they're not gonna have any overcharge, and Bingo's gonna be at 3/4, so it's gonna be pretty tough for Bingo to offset the amount of damage that Quick is gonna receive in pure bonus lines. And yeah, that's gonna be 40 versus 26.
When you're zoning with less than the full zone, you get a large detriment to your total zone attack, because it will cut down if you don't have that full zone. But Bingo, despite all of that, is still continually putting on pressure and has now a little bit of a zone advantage, as we have surpassed 100,000 points for both players.
Yeah, these rounds are pretty long. Both players not really wanting to take too many risks. We're seeing some more hesitations in their decision, but the more hesitations are gonna add up, and both players trying to keep nice efficiency, so of course the damage is just gonna be compounding. It's just gonna be who's faster at doing so. Quick, once again, the second they get max charge, it's gonna be fired up. They have sub half of their board worth of garbage in their queue right now, and they're gonna get a pretty high zone clear. We're gonna see a phase 3 ulti from Quick.
Very impressive stuff, and that means that Bingo has not much to work with here, and a massive chunk of garbage right there waiting. So it'll take everything he's got to get out of this, and I don't think he can, giving Quick a 5th win.
Yeah, the nice thing about seeing those zone chunks is that it gives you the hope that you're almost at the end, but at the same time, once you get there, any single uncycled placement is just death. And of course, Bingo just didn't have the sequence, didn't have the skims in order to survive there, which is gonna give Quick, I think, the highest lead we've seen so far, a 2-point lead from 5 to 3.
I believe we started this out with a 2-point lead, but it did not last long, and players are continually putting on the pressure, with QuickAndSmart having a 6-3, but now moving it over to get access to that column 4 well. And with that, has a full zone, may decide to use it while he's at the bottom of the board here, but Bingo has a full zone of his own and all of the runway in the world to use it.
We actually see Quick doing some plonking there. They had the placement in order to do a setup, and they just decided to wait on their garbage to make sure they had a higher board state to finish their zone faster and just have more to work with. And Bingo's not too far behind on the pacing department, and they're gonna find a PC, gonna look for another one, not able to find another one, but that is still a lot of damage incoming.
That being an additional 10 lines at the end of that zone was very powerful, but QuickAndSmart had enough power between their zone and the counterplay that Bingo ended up receiving lines despite the PC. And now he is clearing it down and has access to another well.
That is a pretty scary situation if you're a Bingo, realizing that if you hadn't found that PC, you could have just been one-shot. But we are going to see that we are heading to the zone interaction into Phase 3. So once again, another game-changing moment. Bingo not too far behind, making sure they get the Phase 2 timer. And Quick is going to find a 42 and 19, while Bingo is still looking for their efficiency. Oh my gosh, that's another zone PC from Bingo.
Playing efficiently can be really hard, especially when you are under pressure, but Bingo is not letting it get to him and keeping up these insane plays with back-to-back zones of PCs in them. And despite the large board state that they have to worry about right now for a moment, they're cleaning through it like there's no tomorrow.
Definitely, Bingo is doing a very nice job at down stacking. This is definitely a case of QuickAndSmart doing so much sustain, but they're not going to be able to find the spikes for the kill shot. But even still, Bingo ended up letting off the gas for just a little bit, and that was enough for Quick Sustain to break through and take the top out, taking it to match point.
Very impressive stuff by both players, but again, those top 4 cells in the the top cell in each of the 4 middle columns is where the pieces spawn, and so you have to be very careful when you're working in that area, lest you might just end up topping out despite being in zone, and it can just end up not being great.
You are going to see both players continue the 6-3. It's definitely gone to a pretty dire situation now that we've reached match point. Just going to do what works. Bingo is going to get the column 8 guard, which is going to allow them to do a nice 7-2 stack, given it doesn't switch. And no, it doesn't. So yeah, they're going to have a very efficient start to this zone.
And with Bingo here, 17 lines, not able to get a PC because of parity, but still gets a nice ulti out of that. But QuickAndSmart zones right after, and let's see how he can do. Though he did zone a little bit on the late side of things, and so this is a Phase 2 zone, being a little bit shorter. But QuickAndSmart does not care, getting real efficient with it, and right up at the top of the board. Looks for an ulti of his own, but cannot quite find it.
Yeah, after we saw that Phase 3 ulti from Quick, I highly doubt that the Phase 2 timer is too much of their concern. Just trying to get a slightly better board state in order to actually fire off with. But Bingo has at least 20 lines of sustain at their disposal right now, so they are going to be able to counter a lot of what Quick's game plan is for the meantime. But it's gonna enter another one of those Phase 3 zone interactions, so that transition is going to matter a lot.
Yeah, both players now into their final Phase 2 zone of this particular match, but QuickAndSmart playing real efficiently with it. Might have some trouble getting that 20th row, but Bingo didn't get it either, and so QuickAndSmart could send 5 lines of now dirty Phase 3 garbage over.
Yeah, that Phase 3 cheese is scary, but as we've seen, Bingo, who has been in pretty much constant disadvantage in Phase 3, has definitely brought it back a few times and is expecting to do it again, is wanting to do it again. And Quick, once again, not able to find the sustain they're looking for once they're pushed higher up in the board, and that's going to give Bingo a good window to try and compound the advantage that they currently have.
Yeah, but QuickAndSmart playing with some efficient plays at the top of their board there, keeping pressure on, and now both players have some challenging downstacks ahead of them. But neither of them look like they're really putting up a sweat here, as Bingo uses his zone, and QuickAndSmart has a full one ready to go at a moment's notice.
That is going to be only 24 coming from Bingo, but I'm not sure how much of the material Quick can access. As I'm saying that, they absolutely make it to the bottom of their board. They're going to be able to counter off pure bonus lines, but it's going to be a matter of how efficient they are in terms of how they're able to find a kill spike. Gonna send 35 over to Bingo, but that's not going to be enough to find a kill spike, and we're going to be in the exact same situation of QuickAndSmart trying to sustain, and Bingo just doing their dang hardest to try and live.
Yeah, it's fun to see just how fast these boards can change from one play to the next, as Bingo now entering zone to protect against all the garbage that QuickAndSmart is sending, but hard to say how this is coming out, as Bingo does manage to cancel all of the incoming garbage, but that leaves QuickAndSmart with a significant zone advantage.
Unfortunately, because we're thinking like so bigger picture here, I don't even get to like call out some of the insane setups we're seeing. Like for example, Quick had cut copy into float and then stacked another float, just surely showing how efficient they are. And Bingo once again just really choosing when to flip that switch on, when to go on the down stack, and when to go on the canceling offensive.
Yeah, and again, players using this zone for all that they can get their money's worth, and QuickAndSmart getting 34 lines out of 12 there, and Bingo with exactly 34 as well, meaning that these players still remain real close together, but a couple misdrops from QuickAndSmart might just be a little bit of a challenge to get out of, but QuickAndSmart is not giving up despite all of that, and is finding something to get out.
Yeah, that O-piece misdrop looked like it could have spelled doom, but they're finding a nice way out of it, and Bingo could not find the pressure that they wanted to because they had already sent their spike, and that's gonna bring it pretty much back to neutral. The main difference here is that Bingo has half a zone charge while Quick only has a quarter.
Yeah, and when it comes down to the nearing end of Phase 3, it can just come down to who has enough zone to take the last shot at the opponent, but the players are doing fantastic at countering each other that it's hard to say what'll happen, but QuickAndSmart right at the top with not much runway here at all.
And Bingo is not done yet. They're gonna continue trying to close that lead now at 4-6. QuickAndSmart got a really risky tank, and Bingo was very swift on taking that punish. And now we're gonna see QuickAndSmart in 6-3. I think Bingo ended up misdropping that I piece going for the 6-3 as well. And that J piece misdrop afterwards isn't nice, but this is phase 1, so that overall zone pacing isn't going to matter too much.
Yeah, it comes down to now, like, Bingo just has to figure out a way to play efficiently but get that zone charge to counteract the build-up that Quick has. But that misdrop on QuickAndSmart's board will give Bingo the runway he needs, as both players now are at max zone, and with both 09 stacks, anything could happen at this point.
Surely anything can happen. Both in the 09, Bingo is going to start up the zone first. Quick not far behind, but that efficiency is going to be hampered by that misdrop, so they might be just gearing up for a tank. Bingo is looking for the ulti. They are going to find it. Very nice IHS usage there. Quick not too far behind, also gonna find an ulti and gonna receive only 3 lines, so not gonna be entirely clean, but they are nice at counting to 4, so I wouldn't expect anything insane to happen because of it.
Yeah, no, it's staying incredibly close, with Bingo's advantage after that zone simply being that he finished first and so could send a couple lines, but it does not matter to these players, as then now Bingo is at the upper half of his board, but with a max zone and not terrible garbage means that he's going to take full advantage with a zone here, and we'll see what this can do.
The thing is, even though they have a nice advantage here, it doesn't look like this zone's going to transition just because of how low they are in score, which is going to give Quick a lot of time to decide what they want to do. Yup, they do get this before that phase 3 bell. That Bingo is likely going to end up transitioning while Quick is in the zone, so it's going to be pretty scary.
And again, QuickAndSmart showing us that there is really no stopping the efficiency, and aside from a little bit of missed IRS there at the top, ending the zone a little bit early, QuickAndSmart playing really efficiently there, as Bingo now has that phase 3 garbage cheese to work through.
But Bingo has plenty of time to go ahead and learn what Quick's playstyle is. Already played 10 rounds, they already know the sustain is coming, and they're doing a very nice job of canceling when they need to, and finding those opportunities to actually go down when they're able to.
And after a short little misdrop there from QuickAndSmart, he did a few fun spins to get out of it, but now is clean, and back to 6-3 as Bingo now has using his zone to get some attack sent, but it only was 9 total attack in the zone, which does not change too much as QuickAndSmart now has the zone advantage and uses it again at the bottom of the board.
Bingo just didn't have the time they needed, and because they dropped their combo, their zone was only going to send 9, which means that Quick has a really nice advantage here if they want to find a kill shot, but those misdrops are going to ruin their efficiency and give Bingo the time they need to not even be forced to zone here with a major advantage. The main difference is that Quick actually keeps the man-made stack, is going to keep the sustain going, but if Bingo is able to find all of their material, then it could spell bad news for Quick.
And Bingo using that zone really well to send a few lines to Quick, but it is not enough to kill. And so this is still just an immense battle, but QuickAndSmart playing real efficiently with these T-spins and keeping Bingo high on the board in this high-stakes match.
For a moment there, both boards actually equalized in heights, but that TST from Quick is going to make sure that no matter what Bingo does there, they're going to receive bleed-through damage, and Quick is already going to return to their man-made stack that they're so used to, keeping that sustain at all costs. Bingo trying to do some counting to 4, very risky at that kind of board height, but it's going to be what they need in order to do all the canceling that they required.
And with QuickAndSmart's relentless pressure, really is putting into perspective how well Bingo is at downstacking through all of this, that he's been alive now for 4.5 minutes, and at least 2 of which have been during this phase 3 cheese. And despite all of the attacks that QuickAndSmart is sending with the T-spins and other efficient plays that he has, Bingo is not just going down easily.
Yeah, we're gonna see these longer rounds with less risks being taken. No player really wants to give up. Quick is keeping that sustain that they know is going to work out and keep them in advantage, but if they're not able to find a kill shot, then that's just gonna let Bingo bide their time for the kill shot that they're looking for, because Bingo's just that much more experienced when it comes to the TC. They know when to look for those kill spikes, but Quick's efficiency is gonna be a hard hurdle to come by.
And with 14 lines of man-made stack there in the zone, that gave a whole lot of attack that Bingo had a zone that pretty much canceled it out. And again, the players are not letting anything go and staying right neck and neck in a very long match here.
Very much so, and actually we're going to see Bingo take the lead in the man-made advantage here. As I say that, of course, we're going to see a lot of lines on their board, and with those misdrops, the sustain is looking scary. They're going to be forced to use their half zone. The combo is going to drop. They're not going to find any back-to-back in this zone, but it is going to be enough to at least survive for now.
Yeah, it's real impressive digging. It's been like 5 minutes of digging now as Bingo has just continuously been put through the everything, as QuickAndSmart now using another real efficient zone here, and hoping that this will be the final blow, but it'll be hard to say as Bingo has a zone but cannot get too much out of it, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, 44 is an insane amount of damage to be receiving in phase 3, and Bingo already just used all their overcharge, and with no more skims, that's gonna be the set. Quick is gonna take it at 4-7.
Very intense match. Like, the score does not actually reflect how these players have done.
No, not at all.
I think when this hits YouTube, the runtime of the video will more accurately represent the closeness of the players.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculously long rounds. Of course, that's gonna take a toll on the stamina, and Quick is gonna have to run that right back into Codeless.